Every one of us know as Dr. Solomon Daskumar. I'll give a brief introduction of him. Uh, as you all know, he is the scientist to Government of India, Agriculture Research Services, ICR, Central Coast Agriculture Research Institute, and is now a PhD scholar at LPD Department, Tukur. He has completed his BBSc and AH from Raghuvar Puducherry and MBSc in LPT from IVRI Certificate. He has also grabbed postgraduate diploma in technology management in agriculture from National Academy of Agriculture Research Management. I welcome you, sir, for the session.
Thank you, Sharad. Let us not be very formal in the things because you all are very known to me. Okay, so I made some of this presentation just to give an outline after completion of the graduation. What generally we will presume to do. So what I'm planning is once this outline of this our career path is known to you, maybe we can call upon some of our friends who are expert in that particular area. Maybe it's one person from industry, one person from maybe some civil services like that, so that we can make it as a series rather than completing the session with this. So is it okay for all of you? Basically, after completion of BBSc, so everybody will have a lot of thoughts because this is the season where many people are coming. Very recently, they had that ICR JRF exam also. What subject to take, what subject not to take. So basically, we should have some plan, not in the last moment. We should plan maybe what you're in the current stage is the right time to decide upon your path, because probably you have 1.5 years or 2 years with you, so that you have a time for the planning and execution and also to achieve the goal. So because any plan, with my experience, it takes minimum 1 year or maximum up to 2 years. So it's the right time to choose your path based on your interest or based on your ambition or based on your motivations. So first of all, we will see, I'll show you one video. You just watch that video till end. Video is visible?
Yes, sir.
So basically what he's making is a pizza, right? You just observe till the end. So they have made the pizza, if you see from the starting, basically we had a crust, okay? Crust is nothing but that white color, what you get, that is a bread like thing. So on that they put in the cheese, then they put in a lot of toppings, then they're baking, then only we are getting the end product. So no one would like to take you as a this white bread. So we required something, toppings, cheese, and some refinement of your career. That is important. Then only, because basically you have to get yourself marketed in the uh, complete in the job market. That is very important. So we have to improve all your, like, after BBS you have to go for the higher education. You should have some awards. You should have some grants, some internships. Then only you will be a finished product and you will be ready to accept by the public. So that is the job market currently, what they look for, especially come for BBSc in age. So we have basically, we have 3 steps in our career. The first step is immediately after completion of your BBSc. So the BBSc nowadays is a 5.5 years course, but as per in the calendar duration, you see it takes around 6 years. So by the time you come out, you're almost 24 years of age. So then second step, if you someone wants to stop at this point of time, like when you are 24 years of age and okay, you're done your 6 years of education, if you feel that is sufficient, you can very well stop at here. Then the second stage is going for the MBSc, that what majority of the people does in veterinary field. They will plan to go for the MBSc. That is another 2 years. By the time you will be 26 years of age. Then further, if you want to go, the third stage is go for the PhD. So PhD is around another 3 years. So overall, if you want to complete whatever the veterinary science, that you will reach around 29 to 30 years of age. So you people have to decide at this point of time, maybe your family background, financial background, or your siblings, or your ambitions. So everything, if you see, you have to choose at any one stop. In the, we have the three stops: red, yellow, and green. So where you want to stop, you have to choose. So any stop is not bad. If you want to decide to stop at BVS in DH, it's well and good. I will tell you what you have to do after BVS in DH. Then if you want to go further for MBSc, then what are the other things you can do? So these three steps I will explain you, so that you people, based on your circumstances, you can decide upon where you want to stop. So first we look after BVSc. Only with BVSc what you can do. The basic thing what everybody have the ambition is to become a veterinary officer. That is, maybe your parents, everybody will feel when you join BVSc, will feel okay, you are going to become a veterinary doctor. Of course, in Kerala, it is through Kerala Public Service Commission, that is vacancy-based examination. Vacancy-based examination means when the vacancy falls, the Department of Animal Husbandry will notify to the Public Service Commission, and they will conduct the examination. And the second thing is remote veterinary corps, that is Indian Army. But in this is remote veterinary corps is exclusively only for the male candidates. Still, Indian Army has not recruiting female candidates for the RVC. So RVC is based on SSB interview. There is no written test in this case. It is called SSB, Service Selection Board, and it is a regular interview. Every year it will get notified. And here the thing is, RVC will never give a number of vacancies. It will never notify. If they feel 10 people are if 10 people are found to be eligible for RVC, then they will take 10 people. Sometimes they will stop with 1 or 2 people also. Then third thing is civil services or Indian Forest Service examination. So civil service is not exclusively for veterinarians. Any graduate can attempt this civil service examination. All of you know, because it is the legacy in the domain, like it is people feel that it is the best service to enter into the government sector. So this is conducted by Union Public Service Commission, and it's an annual examination. Every year vacancies will be notified. So in such case, minimum it takes 2 years of preparation. So this is the right time for you people. If anyone interested to go for UPSC, you have to start preparing for now. Then we can see then after these three, generally we have in Kerala Milma or KLDP or something like that. So you can opt for going for a cooperative dairy or private dairy. So this is all based on interview based recruitment. You need not to exclusively prepare for any examination to enter into these sectors. And the last and foremost thing is, most of the people may ignore this, but this is an upcoming field to become an entrepreneur or to go for a private, to register yourself as a private practitioner and you start practicing. So now one by one we will go. I'm not covering up anything about public veterinary officer, because that is everyone knows that how it has been recruited. I will start with RVC. As I said, it is one of the oldest battalion in the, not only in the entire world, where they have the exclusive veterinary corps in the Indian Army. Exclusively, they'll take care of the horses and also sniffer dogs, and lot of mules also there in the Indian Army. So this is selection will be done by the Service Selection Board. We call the SSB. So SSB basically, unlike other examinations, they won't see about your subject knowledge, or they won't ask you questions from anatomy or surgery or not. They will assess you because they all knows that you already have a degree in BSc, so you are already a veterinary graduate. But they will like to assess you whether you have officer-like qualities or not. They are called as the OLQs. So OLQs are again, they assess through three types of examination. One is the officer-like qualities. First, you should have very good thoughts. So these thoughts they will analyze by a psychological test. The first round will be a psychological test. Then they will check your deeds and action, how you are behaving in a group, how you are behaving as an individual, how you are dressing up, how you are answering their questions. So all these things they'll done by the group exercise. The third one is like they will assess your speech, how command on your language, how you able to pass on the commanders to 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 your subordinates, how you're receiving the orders from your superiors. These three qualities are very very important for an army officer. So this SSB generally it is in the four places: Bangalore, Bhopal, Delhi, and Guwahati. These four places they will call you for the selection board. So it is a 3 days exercise. If you fail in the psychological test, they will send you back on the first day. So after that, they will have again the physical test will be there, like running test, your medical examination, and all those things. So on the starting, if you get selected for this RVC, you will be appointed directly as a captain. So captain is an officer rank, and once you enter into the RVC, you have the two options. Either you can come out from the Indian Army as a short service. That means after 5 years, you can take all your retirement benefits and come back and join some other job in government sector. Otherwise, you can continue in the Indian Army. So if you continue in the Army, you can reach even up to the level of Lieutenant General. So RVC, initially maybe you have the very remote postings, maybe Leh, Ladakh, or Arunachal Pradesh or anywhere. But when you reach the higher ranks, you'll have very good position in the Indian Army. Even you can reach up to the rank of Lieutenant General. General is the highest position in Indian Army. You can reach up to just below one rank of General. And another thing is this remand patriotic officer is also part of United Nations Peacekeeping Force. So if you see the first picture on the top, he's Dr. Richmond Fernandez is our senior. So from RVC, now he is a Lieutenant Colonel, and now he has been deputed to United Nations Peacekeeping Force. He's working in South Sudan now, right now. He's working for that rehabilitation work post war. So through animal husbandry, treating animals, they're educating the people in the livestock farming so that they can revive their lost lives. So you have a lot of not only serving our country, you have an opportunity to serve somewhere else. So it is a global job. It is not only an Indian job, it's a global job. And second thing is you can go to the deputation to like NSG, National Security Guards, and you can be posted in Rashtrapati Bhavan, where you can look after all our that president's parade horses. So it is very very honorable and recognizable job. So boys, you just we need not to prepare any specially for this. Like there is no syllabus, there is no exam or something. Try to develop your group activities, leadership qualities, the dressing sense. You observe the other people, how they behave, how you manage. These are all work out in your when you go for the service selection board. That is officer like qualities. Probably there are a lot of YouTube videos how to clear SSB, so you can get well through that. Second thing, I was telling about the civil service examinations. So it is, as I said before, it is not exclusively for veterinary people. Anyone from any graduate can appear for this examination. So people think civil services examination only for IAS and IPS, but there are several other services. Based on the rank what you get, you will be allotted to see many other services. As most of you know about IAS and IPS, I need to explain. But there are other services like Indian Audit and Account Service, Corporate Law Service, Railway Traffic Service, Indian Revenue Service, Indian Customs Service. So all these services are recruited through this single examination. So this exam is having 3 stages. The first one is preliminary examination, that is also called CSAT, that is Civil Service Aptitude Test. It will have 2 papers. One is general paper 1, general studies paper 2. That is an objective type, and once you get the clear the preliminary exam, you will be qualified for the main examination. So main examination, especially if you have the 9 papers, in these 9 papers, 2 papers are only qualifying. That is, first one is Indian language, like your mother tongue you can choose, that is Malayalam you can choose, and this paper number 2 is in English. So these 2 are only qualifying. They won't take this mark for the score. But paper 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, they are very important. The first one is the essay, 250 marks. So even though English is just for qualification, But for the sake of essay, you should have good language skills to explain well in this essay writing. Then general studies, one is about history, public administration, social justice, international relations, technology, economic development. So general studies itself, you have the 4 papers will be there, each having 250 marks. Then next we have to select one option. We have veterinary science as one of the option, or many people take geography or sociology or some other subject, so that most of the syllabus will also be covered for the general studies. That is up to your liking and your capability. You can choose your option. Then when you clear the mains examination, you can go, they will invite you for the interview. So n number of material YouTube videos are there how to crack civil service examination, but this is just for your brief information. I have compiled this. People, the major thing you have to think over is civil service examination is not only for IAS and IPS and IRS. There are several other services through this examination you can go through. Another important thing is Indian Forest Service examination. So Indian Forest Service examination, how it differed from civil service examination is, Indian Forest Service examination is exclusively for the life science students, life science graduates like botany, zoology, veterinary science, agriculture, forestry, geography, or some which are much related to the forestry and biodiversity and wildlife. So for this, if you want to enter this service, you had to undergo the preliminary CSAT examination. But once you clear the CSAT examination, then only will be called for the mains examination, which is different from your regular civil service examination. People who compared to the civil service examination, clearing Indian Forest examination is comparatively easy, because you will be only competing with the life science graduates like botany, zoology, etc. You being a veterinarian, you've been studied for 5.5 years of your subject, you can well perform better than the other life science graduates. So if people you're interested in wildlife conservation or forest life, this is a very good service. And after getting this main examination, you will be called for the interview. So this is one of the best service I can suggest for the veterinarians, because if you enter the civil service, sometimes you will be losing whatever you studied for all the 5.5 years. But in case of Indian Forest Service, still your veterinary science knowledge you can apply in the field. Like you can be posted in a zoo, or you can posted in a tiger reserve. So your whatever you studied in the 5.5 years won't go, but still you will be known as a civil servant. That is a specialty of this service. And if you see the training part of this service, this beautiful building is Forest Research Institute in Dehradun. So maybe many movies are shot here. The Three Idiots remake in Tamil, Nanpan, was shot in this academy. This is actually IFS training academy at Dehradun. So it's a very good service actually. For a veterinarians, I suggest you should prepare for this Indian Forest Service examination. If you get IAS, IPS, it is fine, but rather than going for any other services like audit and account service or revenue service, you people must focus on Indian Forest Service. So these are some of the veterinarians who excel in civil services. Most of you may be knowing the current Thrissur collector is Dr. Kausikan. He is a veterinarian. He is a graduate from Namakkal Veterinary College. And Dr. Anand Kumar, he is an IAS officer. He is my senior at IVRA. And the specialty, because it's very popular in Tamil Nadu, the thing is like he is being a district collector of Erode. He sent his daughter to Anganwadi school. Even his children were born in a government hospital. Children are right now studying in a government school. He's very, very down to earth person. So thing is, as a veterinarian, it is not like you become a collector and you have a posh life. That is not an important. How you bring an impact in social life, how you becoming an example, that is very important. So many people, we feel that we are studying civil service because you just want to become collector, you want to have a posh life. It's not the thing. we should make some impact in the social life, and you should stand as an example. In case of IPS, our Dr. right side is Dr. Shashi Mohan. He's my junior. He also studied from IVRA, and now he is the SP of our neighboring district, Nilgiris SP. And down is my classmate Dr. Satish. He has also done MBS in LPT, and current now he is SSP in UP. He is 2013 IPS. So not only this, for an example, these are the people who have moved very closely. There are many seniors and juniors still. So veterinarians are excelling in civil services also, and they are not. We cannot consider them as very the toppers in the class. There are average and below average students, and only that hard work pays for them. And we should have the attitude and aptitude also. Both we should have to pursue this examination. So these are some of the examples I can give, but there are many other people. Even our former VC, Dr. Ashok also is in veterinarian, then he is not IPS. One thing at this juncture I want to mention you, this whoever I'm talking about, most of them having the background of IVRA or NDRA. So people think you may say that any college you may get an MBSc degree. That is true. MSc degree from Tanvas or KVASU and IVRA, if as per the UGC standards is considered is the same. But think like when you go to a place like IVR and NDRA, you will come across a lot number of people from other universities also, your classmates, seniors, juniors, and your teachers, all your teachers will be from the ARS. And third thing is you'll have a fellowship, so you don't have any tension to earn money or ask from your parents. Right now, I think 15,000 you get a JRF amount that is well sufficient for IVRA life. And you get an environment to interact with others. We have a National Library of Veterinary Science where even every veterinary science journal will be available in that, and all textbooks will be available. You have ample amount of time, and for research you need not to bother about for money or anything, because a lot of funding is there in IVRA. So it's a tension-free environment so that you can concentrate for the further study. I can tell that this IVR and AR they are like a platform to catch your train, like traveling in a general compartment, traveling in a reserved compartment. You may reach your destination, but the comfort level what you get is you won't get it in other universities. So if you're aiming for any further competitive examinations, I just tell you at this juncture, you first try to, you make first as a benchmark is to go to IVRA or NDRA, so that you can further proceed upon your career. So next question most of the people asking is choosing a subject for MBSc. So first thing you have to consider your subject of interest. If you love some subject or love some person, there should no one can ask me any logic why you like that. If you like any subject, you like parasitology, you like extension, you go with that, because every individual is different, every individual liking is different. So you always consider your subject of interest. And second, someone wants to go abroad. If you want to go abroad, of course you have to write GRE, IELTS and TOEFL. In such case, better to choose for a paraclinical subject or biotechnology. And nowadays, due to all these pandemics and all, the VPH is becoming popular. Then third thing, you have ample amount of scope in case of industry also, private industry. It is unexplored area, because in my service, I have interacted with a lot of industry people. And I've seen most of the people, majority are from Tanvas or Mafsu and Karnataka. I didn't see any people from Kerala. Probably they are getting veterinary officer job after MBSc or BBSc, so that no one looking for the private industry. Private industry, my observation is the career growth is very fast. If you are competent enough, it is like going in lift, not like going in a staircase. So that much growth will be there. So I'll further explain you in the next upcoming slides about this private industry. If you want to go for industry job is like with the MBSc, no further tension for you. If you enter in industry, you keep on flourishing. Subjects like animal nutrition, LPT and poultry science, they are most apt subjects for your private industry jobs. Then second thing is vaccine, pharma or diagnostic industry. But in this industry, thing is we have to compete with the general pharmacy people, M-Pharm people, MSc biotechnology people, MSc microbiology people. But still, you have some scope in this vaccine and pharma industry. Then fourth one is ARS and assistant professor. Here comes the recent guidelines till today, till 2020. With the MBSc, we are eligible for ARS or assistant professor. But in the recent circular, the current government has taken decision that they are making PhDs compulsory for this recruitment of as assistant professor or ARS from 2021 onwards. So your current batch will be facing this rule. So that if you want to become an ARS, you have to complete your PhD. So generally, if you're looking for a government sector at a higher level, of course, veterinary officer is a good job, but you will be restricted to in career wise and your location wise, you will be restricted to in a small area. But if you want to aim more, there are the three categories where we have to select your career. Generally, in government sector, mainly we have a executive, legislative, and judiciary. A legislative, of course, it is by the elected bodies. Executive is the people who actually run the government. In this, we have the three categories. One is bureaucrats, technocrats, and diplomats. So bureaucrats, as I said, through civil service examinations only we can become a bureaucrat like IAS, IPS, or IRS, whatever maybe. So second thing, important thing is technocrats. So technocrats are the government authority which will give the technical advice to the government. So we have majorly two services which comes under technical technocrats. That is Agriculture Research Service and Defense Research and Development Service. The third one is diplomats. Diplomats exclusively for Indian Foreign Service and Indian Economic Service. These are also through civil service examinations only. So if you don't want to become a bureaucrat, if you want to continue your education and serve the government the higher level, then the next category is you have to become a technocrat. So technocrats are basically, there are three services, scientific services of Government of India. First one is Agriculture Research Service for the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and the second one is Defense Research and Development Service, that is for the DRDO. Then we have scientific services of CSIR, DBT, DST, ISRO, and ICMR. So as per the veterinary science is concerned, we have a number of vacancies more towards the ARS, Agriculture Research Service, and a few vacancies in DRDO. DRDO especially in Defense Food Laboratory and High Altitude Physiology Laboratory. We have some posts for the DRDO. And of course, DBT, DST, it is general, it is not any exclusive for veterinary science. They are for the general life science people. We have to compete with the life science people and we can enter to the services of DBT and DST. So right side, if you see, these are the, what are the different services, and in the Government of India, if concerned, the Cabinet Secretary is the highest rank. And under the Cabinet Secretary, we have different secretaries. If you see in the top, in Indian Administrative Service, there are 73 secretaries. Indian Police Service, 1 secretary. And if you see, 10 secretaries are scientists. That means they are from these 3 services, ARS or DRDS or CRCS. So if you want to continue with your, as I said, for the Indian Forest Service, if you want to continue with your subject knowledge, you want to achieve the highest level of your subject knowledge and then serve the government in the advisory level. Even you can become a secretary to Government of India through, and by entering through these services. You need not be only achieve for becoming an IAS and IPS. IAS and IPS will have a lot of public contract because they're being working in a district level or taluka level or at the state government level. But in case of the scientific services, we will in the apex bodies, we will be serving in the apex bodies and will be working as an advisories to the various ministries. So at the end of your career phase, when you reach the level of the grade of the secretary, we all the services will be pooled together. Okay, so many people may not be knowing that all these services have the similar pay packages, similar allowances and everything. Of course, due to uh, the type of work, probably sometimes this IRS, IPS and IS will have more public appeal. That is the thing. Otherwise, when you see for the all the grades and pay, everything will be same for all these services. So our former Honorable President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he belongs to DRDS, that is Defense Research and Development Service. Through DRDS, he served DRDO. Later, he extended his services to ISRO also. Then he became the advisor to the Raksha Mantri, through which he entered the advisory position to the government. Then subsequently become the President of India. And in ARS, if you see, he is the first person to start the ARS. All of you must be knowing that MS Swaminathan. So he belongs to the first batch of VRS, and of course he has reached to the position of advisor to the then Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi, and he was also the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission. So many might be now she is very popular in the news. She is Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. She is daughter of Dr. MS Swaminathan. She is also through scientific services. She was working in the ICMR lab as a scientist. Then she became the Director General of ICMR. Now she is working for World Health Organization as Deputy Director General. So through scientific services also you can achieve at the very higher level. So first we'll go through ARS exam. Similar to civil service examination, this also will have a preliminary, mains and viva voce. So preliminary is 150 marks, and 150 marks will have general knowledge, and also your subject also, one subject, whatever your eligible subject, that you have to go for the objective questions. Once you clear for the preliminary, then you will be called for the descriptive type, that is the mains examination. Then finally will be attending the viva voce at the Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board of Government of India. So through ARS, there are again 4 categories. You can enter to the ICAR institutes. Like you could become a scientist, senior scientist, and principal scientist. The principal scientist is equivalent to joint secretary to Government of India. Then you can become an assistant director general, deputy director general. Finally you become the secretary of DARE, that is for the Government of India. Now current secretary is Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra. That is the highest position you can reach in the ARS. So he'll be the advising the cabinet, all the things related to agriculture education. Then second thing is you Minister of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries, that is Government of India. There, but these posts mostly will be in the Delhi. We have our headquarters called Krishi Bhavan, where we can work as an assistant commissioner. Later we can become a joint commissioner. Then finally Animal Husbandry Commissioner. So Animal Husbandry Commissioner is the highest post for a veterinarian in this country. So he is the highest authority for our veterinarians, that is Animal Husbandry Commissioner. He will be at Delhi. So through ARS you can also enter Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and WHO. So we have a choice of 3 to 5 years of deputation. You can go to any of these organizations in our career. Then those who are in ARS also will be attached, will be posted in high commissions abroad. Like every country will have a high commission or embassy of our country. Like US embassy, our Indian embassy will be there in USA, Canada, or Australia. There we will be posted as scientific attaché or scientific advisor. So we have a lot of scientific deals and the scientific projects will be happening between bilateral or multilateral projects will be there between 2 countries. Like US and India are doing a lot of scientific projects. So these things will be dealt by ARS scientists who are posted in these high commissions. So the right side you can see Dr. Ramesh Chand. He's a person from ARS now. He's a member of Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog previously it is called as Planning Commission. So Niti Aayog member is equivalent to Union Cabinet Minister. So they are the highest advisory bodies to the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister is the chairman of the Niti Aayog. These are all the members. So some most of you might have not seen, because I think All India Tour is due for you next year. This is the IVRA campus, a very beautiful campus, especially if you go to Mukteshwar, Mukteshwar campus during winter. It is completely snow capped, and these are the pictures from our quarters. This is Mukteshwar quarters. This is IVR Izzat Nagar scientist quarters. From IVR Mukteshwar quarters, you can see this Himalayas. This is such a beautiful view. So people who are opting for virology or immunology, especially microbiology people, will be sent to Mukteshwar campus. Remaining all will be in the Izzat Nagar campus. So it is very campus with charged energy. When you go there, only you will understand that. So my first appeal to all of you, you try to get into any of these national institutes for your MBSc, so that it will be the first step for your final goal. So step by step, we have to achieve our goal. So for first step, all of you, until unless you have some restrictions and from your family, if you want to go to MBSc blindly, you just only think about IVRA, nothing else. And I was telling about DRDS. Other than ERS, you can write the example DRDS, Defense Research Development Services. So we have some labs in, this is a very beautiful lab, another lab at Ladakh. This is called Defense Institute of High Altitude Research. They're working on the high altitude climate, survival of animals, survival of humans. So they have a lot of vacancies, especially they take people from biochemistry, physiology background. And we are near to us, we have Defense Food Research Laboratory, Mysore. In this, they're doing research on the development of food for defense people and also for the upcoming human space program. They're planning to send humans to the space, so they have to develop some foods which can be carried to the space also. So whenever you go to South India tour or All India tour, please visit all those institutes. I have seen people coming to institutes, and from the gate they'll take picture and they go away. Once you see things here, again you won't get an opportunity. If you cannot enter these institutes as a tourist, you can enter only as a student when you go for an All India tour. So take it this opportunity. Hopefully your batch will have an All India tour next year after this pandemic. Please take an opportunity to visit this institute, so that you learn, and you can imagine yourself wearing those shoes. So that gives a lot of energy to you to go further. So next time when you plan your CRP, should ensure that everyone should visit all of this, especially main institutes like IVRA, NDRA, so that you know what things are happening. So you should take science plus fun together when you go for the All India tour. And if you can work for some CSR and DBT DST labs, there is one very good lab in Hyderabad that is called Laboratory for Conservation of Endangered Species. So they, through molecular genetics and molecular conservation, embryo transfer technology, this is the lab from the CSR, that Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. This is a branch of CCMB. This lab is in Hyderabad, very beautiful lab. If you go to Hyderabad, you must visit this lab. They're conserving through reproductive biology techniques, they're conserving all the endangered species of Indian wildlife. Similarly, we have the National Institute of Animal Biotechnology at Hyderabad. This is under DBT. So these are the these are the two institutes you must visit if you go to Hyderabad. Again, I was talking about the private industry. So private industry is concerned, you have the two options. First option is either you after BBSc directly go for an MBA, but with your BBSc you're going for an MBA, you must go to the top business schools like IIM, Indian School of Business, okay, or IRMA or like that. Or you can go for MBSc plus MBA, any combination. Like if you want to pursue MBSc, so that once you finish the MBSc, we have more wider options. But I suggest you to go for first with the MBSc and plus MBA, or you go for very top institutes like IIM. So for that you have to write CAT examination. So BBSc plus Agribusiness Management is one of the highly paid career option for a veterinarian. No other career option will pay this high salary. You have the corporate life and very posh life you have. You live like a corporate boss. So in mainly vaccine companies, pharmaceuticals, poultry and meat. Now poultry and meat are upcoming field because lot of processing industry has come up. So they're looking for the veterinarians. If you have an MBA, it is an added advantage. But my suggestion, if you want to go for MBA, don't just do it in any of the other universities. You must go to the best business schools like IIM. IRMA is Institute of Rural Management at Ahmedabad, Manage and NAM. These both are ICR institutes at Hyderabad. So for that, you must prepare for the CAT examination. People who are good at mathematics and analyticals, you should plan for. This is one of the best option I can personally suggest you. And it is also very quick to reach a higher position because the competition is very less. Very few people are there. Very few veterinarians are there in the industry. If you go for this option, you will become a new generation boss in this field. So this is also one option you should people, because as I said in the beginning, you have 1.5 year of time. You can think about preparing for CAT examination also. So there are multiple companies, multinational companies. You must have heard these companies like Kemin, Alltech, Alana, Alkabir. Sharat, am I audible? Power has gone here. These are the multinational companies. Now they have come open up their markets in India. Most of the Asian markets are operated from India. I've seen many of our friends, those who joined these companies, they every week they fly to all our Asian countries. They'll have an office at Dubai, they'll office at Singapore. So if you like traveling, if you like this corporate style of life, then I suggest you should take this is one of the option. So this is what the background I want to give. Hopefully you understand what are the three major steps you can think over. And in the next series we can as I said, this private industry itself, we can invite some person who is working in this private industry, so that you can interact. We can have a half-an-hour session exclusively on the private industry, one session exclusively on civil services. Maybe if we as a series we can do once in a while, once in a fortnight we can have a session like this. So what I can tell is you have to live your dream, and you must love what you do. Then only we can achieve anything. And don't never underestimate yourself. You first prepare yourself to start the journey. Losing or winning is a part of journey, but this is the day you should start. You fix a target. My suggestion, if you want to do MBSc, you fix the target as going to NDRA or IBRA. That will be as I said, there is a platform to catch the train. Otherwise, you have to catch that running train. You have to run and catch the train. That will never end up well. So I suggest you to start from today onwards, and we can have an interaction also. Sharath, I think if anyone having questions, you can just type in that message section so that I will answer. The voice is like open, like they won't conduct any exam or something. Direct interview will be there. You can work with for them. If an animal lover and you have such love for working for an NGO, that is also a good option. A lot of international NGOs also there in India now, right now.
Like we will face the difficulties of a private left NGO. Like in software sector, there is a rapid upcomings and rapid go downs, and like sort of things will also happen in any private firm.
First thing is ours is a food industry, Sharath. Whenever there is a hunger, there is always demand for the food. So right now it is called a sunrise industry. This is in the rising phase only now. The food industry is in the rising phase, and our generation will always win with the rising phase. Maybe in the future days we don't know how the market will go, but right now it is in the upcoming field. You see a lot of food industries are coming up. Maybe 10 years back you might have not seen any of these brands in our market. Now how many chicken brands are there, how many meat brands are there? So the demand will never go for food industry. So we are indirectly we are linked with the food industry, either it is a vaccine or it is a nutrition. The final end product is a food. So and animal husbandry is growth. If you see compared to other industries, the growth rate is around very high. It's 6% growth rate is there. MBSc surgery, as I told you, um, if you want to become an assistant professor now with MBSc, it is not possible. You have to go for the PhD. So if you want to go for it, practice, surgery is one of the best option to go for the practice. And practice also, I suggest you not to venture directly in starting your own. You should go to some city and work with someone, observe the things. Maybe for less salary also is not an issue. You should work with a well-established practitioner, so that you learn the things, how business is operating, from how he is purchasing the equipment, how he is handling the clients. So that probably with our TVCC we cannot learn that uh, public life. So you should work with someone, then start your own clinics. That is a good thing. And MBSc surgery, definitely Madras, Bangalore and Ludhiana are the best colleges. If you really want to learn the practice, then you should go. Even IVR you get a fellowship, or IVR clinical subjects are mostly like research oriented. They are not clinical oriented. Even the clinical subject, because being it is located in the remote area, you won't see much of the cases in IVRA. So if you're really interested in learning the clinical subjects, you must go to Tanvas. Then Bangalore is good, Bombay Veterinary College is good, then Ludhiana. So Ajmal asked me any specific courses or institutions for lab animals. Lab animal courses, we don't have any specific institution. But however, you can with the BVSC directly you can join any of the pharma companies, and you have to clear that diplomat exam. There is a diplomat examination for lab animal practice. I think that is conducted by American College of Lab Animal Practitioners something. So if you clear that examination, you will have very good scope, especially in pharmaceutical industry. Sharath was asking, is there any specific college good for practical subject for PG other than IVR? Yes, I was telling, like, if you want to go for clinical subject, no doubt Madras Veterinary College is the best. Not even Tanvas, within Tanvas you have to select exclusively the Madras Veterinary College, and Bangalore Veterinary College is also good. And if you specifically, if you see some example, poultry science, especially poultry science is good in Bangalore and Namakkal College. But this is we can say it finally it doesn't matter much about when you compare with what the extra perks you get from IVRA. So but always you try to get into the IVRA, whatever subject it may be. Yeah, INTAS and MSD also, what they're happening is, as a veterinarians, our demand for the salary will be higher. In case of poultry animal nutrition, they don't have they don't have any general nutrition courses and all. But in case of pharmaceutical companies, what is happening, they are now they're preferring to take more of uh, life science graduates, like pharmacy graduates, like microbiology graduates. So best thing is you must concentrate on other companies. If you want to go into the pharmaceutical companies, best you should enter as a veterinary pathologist, or you should go as a lab animal practitioner. These two are the better options. Yeah, what are the advantages of being ARS is, first thing is, you are not losing your subject. Whatever subject you studied in BBSc, MBSc or PhD, you will be working in the similar lines. Slight deviation may be there. If you go to ministry, then slight deviation will be there. But we are converting our scientific knowledge into the policy decision. So that is a big satisfaction you get. If you become an IAS and IPS, yes, you can work very well for the public. There you have a direct contact and instant results you can show in case of other civil services. But here ARS will take a long duration of this thing. We are not in the public domain. So these are some of the disadvantages. Another disadvantage is the place of posting. So ARS will have very less posting, especially since we all are from Kerala, very less posting in the southern India. And if you see in Kerala, almost nil. You don't have much openings for ARS in Kerala. So you have to work up to Hyderabad. You can come up to Bangalore. You can come. The place of posting is one of the disadvantages, I can tell. Yeah, LPM, LKM now, once upon a time, it was a, even though that management word is there, it became more of an academic subject. Once you do go for a LPM, you have to aim only to become an assistant professor. Because in case of private industry, they became very, very specific about their, they're looking for, in animal nutrition, if you see, they have gone up to micronutrients level. So within general LPM subject, we cannot expect in a private job. But okay, there is a scope for us for becoming an assistant professor, and also for ARS also. ARS also quite good number of posts are there for LPM. Yeah, Sherin was asking about PhD from US university to be considered if you don't have an MBSc while applying for assistant professor post here. Yeah, if you go for PhD in abroad, generally you get a combined degree, 5 years degree of PG plus PhD. But once you want to apply for the assistant professor post after coming back to India, you should have an equivalence certificate. The equivalence certificate will be issued by the Assistant Director General, HRD, Human Resource Development. There is a Assistant Director General at the ICR. You have to apply to that, like you graduated from so and so university, so that they will give an equivalence certificate. So that equivalence certificate also, they have the list of universities for the equivalence certificate. So when you take admission in US, kindly go through that guidelines given by the ICR and Veterinary Council of India. So that university should be listed in that equivalence certificate universities. So if you have that, there won't be any issue of coming back as an assistant professor. Yeah, asking about extension. Extension, many of us will ignore, but it's a very good subject, because always now, now new concept is science, science for humanity. Because whatever you spend either in the lab or in the field, it should reach to the humanity. So in this transfer of technology, especially I tell about my ERS. If ERS, if you see, there are a lot of vacancies for extension. The extension is a very good job subject, and also we have a lot of network of KVK. Every district is having a Krishi Vigyan Kendra, KVK, and KVKs prefer to take a person having background of extension. So scope for job in the government sector is very high. In case of private sector extension is concerned, privatization of extension services is coming, just it started in the infant stage. So but it will pick up in the coming future, because there are many NGOs now started working on extension services, as a, now many companies are coming as a corporate social responsibility. And for example, this ITC, which gives you some biscuits and all these things, they're coming with some extension services for their farmers. So in such case, we have some, but I can say that extension will well suitable for a typical government job. Private also, it's just in the starting phase now. Fee structure for IRMA and IM, it's very high fee, but thing is, you will be financed by the as a education loan by the bank, because they're very, very pretty sure that you will be getting very high package once you complete the course, and you will refund the loan. So don't worry about the fees. If you get the very good score in IRMA or INM, don't bother about the fees, because banks will bear you the fees, and because you are sure of getting a good pay package even before the completion of the course. Graduate from any top 1,000 universities will be appearing directly for the post of assistant professor without net from 2. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, not top 1,000, I think top 100. I think I have to verify. There is some new rule has come. you need not to qualify NET examination, but your degree should be equivalent degree. They may not ask you for the NET, but the degree should be equivalent degree. Actually, prospects of micro and VPH. Micro is concerned, prospects are there like other than assistant professor, and ARS, thing is you have to go for this vaccine companies and all. As I said before, but there is a competition from your life science counterparts, because they will come for the lower salary until unless you are so you are so expert, having experience in some critical area, you will be chosen for that private sector. VPH is concerned, now a lot of NGOs are coming because of this, like Public Health Foundation of India is there. They're doing a lot of now studies on recent pandemics and all. So there we have some lot of scope for VPH too. VPH is one of the good subject I can tell you. In the current scenario, if you get a good rank in veterinary science, you should try to opt for VPH as a first option. Is there any residential PG other than? There is this residential PG concept is in very few colleges, and first time has seen in Kerala only. Probably it is, they started is for the mutual benefit for the both the college and for the student, because college will get one extra manpower for one more year, because you're completing a PG in 3 years and you're getting a paid for that. Rather than that, I don't think so. There is, after you leave the college, the residential PG and normal PG are considered the same. Maybe if you go to any private job as a pet clinic or go somewhere, you can tell that I have one more year experience extra. Other than that, if you go for a assistant professor post or government job, there's nothing to do with the residential PG or normal one. Yeah, research scientist in India, I was telling in all this, right? CSIR, DBT, DST, there are n number of fellowships. If you go abroad also, there are so many avenues to come back to India. Actually, people are now, government of India is encouraging people to come back after completion of your degrees from abroad. So there are a lot of options to come back to India. But the thing happening is, once they go there, they're trying to settle down in US. Very few are coming back. If you're really interested to come back, there is no looking back. There are so many options to come back in India, because many interviews recently we faced, they're preferring people who are coming from abroad. They are giving the first option for those people. There is no written rule like that, but still government of India is encouraging them to come back, so that what they learn from abroad, they can work for our country. So that United Nations having regular internship programs. You can go in as an internee, or you can go as a volunteer. So their system of recruitment is through the completion of different internships in different places. Suppose if you become an ARS scientist, then your revenue is different. You can directly apply for a deputation post, and you can go as a technical expert to WHO. But as a student, just a fresh completed student, you have to opt for some of they advertise a lot of internship programs. And if you go to OAE WHO website, there is exclusive link for the internship programs. You may be paid very less, but they will, that's a way to enter into their organization as a starting point. No, there is no specific CAT exam. CAT exam is common for all the categories. And if you want to go for private industry, as I said, you go for animal nutrition, LPT, and poultry science plus MBA. It is having a very good scope. Completing MBS in biotechnology. So biotechnology now problem is, first thing, you cannot become an assistant professor because you have to compete with the biochemistry people. As per the VCA syllabus is concerned, biotechnology, biochemistry are combined now. Second thing is, you can opt for ARS, and more scope is there other than ICR in case of biotechnology. But the thing is, since biotechnology is a common subject, when you go for any job, they look for even postdoctoral experience, because there is a number of people in the market after completion of biotechnology, not only from veterinary science, other medical side or life sciences side. So biotechnology is a tricky thing while opting for a biotechnology. So my personal suggestion is you better to do a PG in a exclusive veterinary subjects where there is no one can enter from other life sciences background. That will be more secure rather than going for biotechnology, microbiology. These are now what to say very open subjects and very volatile also. Anyone you have to compete after going into after completion you have to compete with others also. That is the problem with biotechnology. Research institute means that that Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute is there. So Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute is there, but that also we have to go after MPSC. With BBSC, I don't think so. There are any good institutes where you can work.
It is an excellent session, sir.
Yeah, this is only just framework I have given. More detailed we can have because everything I cannot cover in a single session. We can have different. We can through my contacts I can bring some civil servants or someone from industry. We can have our own next section. Okay, we can fix a date. We can invite some guests and we can have a session.
Yes, sir. We will have.
It need not be very formal thing. We can directly interact. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, as a part of format, I'd like to
No
invite our
formality.
CRP.
We can wind up, no issue. No need of thank on that. We'll have some interaction. That's all. It is beneficial for both of us. Hope
Thanks.
all will benefit you. And you can. Most of you have my number. You can interact if you have anything more than this. Okay. Thank you.